the Synaptics booth at CES 2018, where there is something hidden in this little corner that I think is probably one of the best pieces of innovation that we've seen at the show this year. This is something that we've all been waiting for, especially now in the age of bezel-less smartphones. This is a Vivo smartphone, an unreleased phone. It's more of a prototype right now, so forget about the design. This may not be what the final product looks like, but it is the world's first smartphone with a fingerprint sensor built underneath the display. Take a look at the phone. There's no home button, there's no fingerprint sensor on the back, nothing on the side, nothing up front, but it is over here, we can show you, hidden underneath the display over there. So that little fingerprint that glows is basically the fingerprint sensor. Let's do it. I will show you how it works. So let me go ahead and just put my finger above it, and it unlocks the phone. Let's do that again. Press, and it unlocks very quickly. Now there's a couple of ways to trigger it. You can tap on the display and it will bring this up, and you can actually just press over there, but you have to press until it's done. Oops. There you go. Or you could just press the power button, press over here. But you have to, so now the trick here is that you want to be able to press and hold on the display to be able to trigger the unlocking. Now let's go ahead and show them how to set it up. So let's go ahead and press again. Now this is an always on display, and this is an OLED panel as well. So it needs to be an OLED panel. Let's go ahead and do fingerprint face, and let's add a second fingerprint. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Add a fingerprint, and then basically you just tap. Oh, that fingerprint already exists. So let's add another fingerprint. This one over here. As you can see, it lights up. So basically what's happening is that the OLED panel lights up from underneath the display, and it basically takes a snapshot, a photo, an image of your fingerprint, and it uses that to be able to match with an existing template or a file that they have on file. So when you set this up, this fingerprint will be put on file, and then every time you do so, you try to unlock your phone, the OLED panel will light up. Let's just use the always on display. It will light up your fingerprint from behind, and there you go. Now, because there is no home button similar to the iPhone, you basically can either turn on the navigation keys over here so that you get these navigation buttons over there, but you can also just use gestures. So for example, just like on Apple, you're on WeChat, you swipe up to go home. If you're, for example, in settings, you can swipe up from the right side of the display to go back, and then you can swipe up from the left-hand side of the display to bring up this control center where there are like shortcuts to various settings and whatnot. So that basically is the technology brought to you by Synaptics, which I don't know if you're familiar with the company Synaptics. They do a lot of display controls. They've also worked on some of the fingerprint sensors, the optical fingerprint sensors, but this is an optical fingerprint sensor, and the technology is basically all happening in this chip. I don't know if you can see it, I'll get close, but that is a CMOS sensor, and for those of you who don't know what a CMOS sensor is, it's basically the sensor that is used in cameras. So you would have something similar in your smartphone camera, but this is the CMOS sensor that takes a picture. That's the controller, that black chip over there, and basically it's embedded underneath the layers of this glass. Again, it has to be an OLED panel because you need to be able to light your finger from behind the display, and you need an OLED panel for that, as you can see that. Now, right now, it is only in one place, it's only in one spot, so you really have to put your finger over that particular spot. You know, a lot of companies are trying and experimenting ways in which they would do this. Some people are trying to be able to do this by being able to touch anywhere on the screen, but right now, at least for this phone, it is on this specific area where you'd normally find your home. Again, this is a Vivo smartphone, and it looks like Vivo will be the first to bring this technology to market. Our sources tell us from Vivo, we talked to some reps from Vivo earlier, that it will be based on one of their higher X52 or 59 plus models. So it'll be based on that,
okay,
and that it is coming in early 2018 is what they tell us.
Okay, so this is the first version, right?
Yes.
So Emilio Jimenez is asking, how will this affect some features, say, when doing in-app purchases, since it's on screen, tapping that area, close the dialog pop-up box. So how do you think that?
So right now, I think it will really be how the software is implemented. And so if you're using something like Android Pay, I'm sure there will be updates to the software where they'll probably move things around. I tried to look at the version of Fun Touch on this phone, but it doesn't have any version number, so I can't really go ahead and show you what specific version it is currently running on. But I think right now, so this is, I don't know what the phone is going to look like, but do know for sure that Vivo will be launching a smartphone in early 2018 with this technology built in. Will they be the first to market? We'll see, but at least, you know, we've heard about this, we've reported on this for a while now, and it's the first time that we've been able to see it in person. Again, I can show you if you're watching. If you've just joined us, this is the Synaptics technology, an optical scanner underneath the display. It's built into the display of this phone. All you have to do is press and hold, and you unlock the phone. I actually like the animation when the always on display is on. You have that little icon over there, you press, and then you see all those little stuff that kind of signify.
Patrick asks, is this prone to screen burn-in?
Is this prone to screen burning? That's a good question. We'll probably ask some of the folks here at Synaptics and see what they have to say. But it is an OLED panel, but I don't think that because it kind of moves around a bit and it kind of fades in and out, I don't think that should be an issue. But then again, we will only know with time. I'm sure they're going to deny this as well, so we'll see. Ooh, but that's a really good question. And it's always on the always on display. So technically, if it's lying on your table, you could just basically touch it and hold it to unlock the phone. It's really fast as what we're used to on other Vivo smartphones.
Really good. Godoy Campo is asking, what are the full specs of this phone?
So we don't know the full specs of this phone. We don't even know what it's going to look like yet. So this is just a prototype, just to show that the technology is working and it's ready to go to market.
Jopet Juliano is asking, can the phone be unlocked even if the screen is off? And you talked about this earlier.
Yes, the phone can be unlocked. Well, there's an always on display, so technically it's not off per se. If I switch it off, the always on display will come up, and so I can unlock that way. There you go.
Okay, they're asking about camera resolutions and the front cam and like you.
So all of those specs, you know, I won't get into because this is not the final phone. So all those phone specs that you want to know about the next Vivo smartphone, but it's based on their higher end X Plus model. You can go ahead and check that out. So I think it'll probably be an iteration to that particular smartphone.
Okay, one final time for people to see it, for those who just started.
Okay, so if you guys are just joining us, if you're a late joiner, thank you again for joining here at the Synaptics booth at CES 2018 in Las Vegas, where for us one of the best, the most innovative things that we've seen is the fingerprint scanner built underneath the display. This is a Vivo smartphone. Will be one of the first phones to bring this technology to market, if not the first phone. And just to show everybody how it works, all you have to do is press your finger on this little image of a fingerprint. You press and hold, it unlocks the phone. Very quick unlock times, and it basically uses the OLED technology of the panel to illuminate your fingerprint, take a snapshot of that fingerprint. It uses the CMOS sensor like you'll find on a smartphone camera or any camera. It takes an image, that information is encrypted, then sent to the smartphone to kind of find a match, and then it unlocks the phone. All that happened in just under the phone. Any other questions? If you have any other questions?
Julian of Utterly Random Techie says, do you think Apple will put their own spin on this tech?
I think all of
iPhone?
I think all of the smartphone manufacturers are all scrambling. We know Samsung has been working on a similar technology, and they should also have a headway. Of course, Synaptics does make all of these kind of like devices, so they're really good at this technology, but Samsung makes the OLED panels. We'll see. We hear that it's not going to come to the S9. Maybe the Note 9 might have it. That'll give them maybe almost a year to kind of, because the technology is there. We've heard from Samsung, from sources inside Samsung, that technology is there, just not ready yet. Apple was rumored to be working on it for the iPhone 10, but they weren't able to get it done on time. I think that it would make the perfect combination to Face ID, so that at least you have two different options and you're not just tied down to Face ID as your main unlocking method on your smartphone.
Okay,
So that's about it. We're gonna wrap